2025, and people who are trading Bitcoin and altcoins right now are wondering to themselves, is this the beginning of a new Pumpenstein, new monstrous pump? Are we going to the moon? Or are we about to watch a massive Frankenfire dump out and liquidate a whole lot of lawns along the way? And the answer is follow the VEPs. Right? Follow the VEPs. Trade the VEPs. Don't not just follow the VEPs, but know what the VEPs are saying because it's leading information. So rather than following, you could be leading. Right? Leading into the trade. Front-running moves before anybody else is catching them. And that's how you do that. Right now, the market is just moving as it always does, according to the VEPs. The move slightly sideways and a little bit down yesterday, and before the move back up, and then again slightly sideways today before the move up. Was not a surprise if you look at what the VEPs were doing. People always saying, "Oh, but watch now, it's gonna make before the traditional markets open this morning. You're gonna see it's gonna dump out because it has to fill the gap or something." No, assets do not need to fill gaps. Okay, and the way that they do anyway is not the way that most people try to trade them. All right. So if you're trying to trade gap filling positions, you're very usually going to get hurt by that. Statistically speaking, maybe you're the 1 in 1,000 that doesn't, but it's really not 1 in 1,000. It's far fewer than that actually succeed at that kind of thing. But hey, maybe you're that statistical outlier. But the rest of you, and I'm talking like the 99.9% of you, you're not that 1 in 1,000, or even 99.999, 1 in 100,000. You're not that person. And so instead of trying to be that one lucky person, just learn to read the VEPs and trade the VEPs correctly, because that is the single best way to be a consistently profitable trader, right? How do we know that? Statistics. That's how we know that. We don't have to use silly chart art or TA, like traditional TA patterns and trend lines and channels and order boxes and liquidity zones and all this kind of nonsense. Those are all silly things. Flags and bull patterns and bear patterns. So all silly things. Reverse cup and handle. I mean, just the names of these things are ridiculous. Markets move randomly most of the time, and you're not going to find historical significance between patterns that happened some time ago and now. You can find patterns because guess what? That is a human skill. We are able to find and recognize patterns. That doesn't mean they have any significance. And we can demonstrate that they have no significance by measuring their entropy. We can see whether or not assets are literally, mathematically, in a random walk or in a trending move. When they're in a random walk, you see it very clearly on our entropy indicator. And when they're in a trending move, you also see that very clearly on our indicator. And assets continually move up and down and sideways, whether they're in a random walk or a trending move. There are certain things, and there are certain ways to trade those things. Of course, you can trade random walks. You can also, of course, trade trending moves. You just need to know how to read them. And of course, it's kind of, quote unquote, easier to trade a trending move than a random walk because, well, a trending move is trending. So usually it's trending directionally. And you can see when it isn't based on the correlation. Right? When the trend changes direction, typically, if it's still trending in the entropic sense in the same direction, the correlation, if the correlation switches direction or switches from positive to negative, you can see that on a little entropy indicator. By the way, it also has a completely separate direction predictor indicator built in, which is not an entropy indicator, but it is a very powerful indicator that nails the directions very regularly. It has two different models of the direction predictor, and they're both very, very accurate. And they're slightly different. One is less aggressive than the other. So one repaints less than the other. The other one repaints more often. And usually front runs move a bit faster than the other one. So it'll front run the entry and the exit, usually a little bit faster, which gets you in and out of moves, basically a little bit earlier than the other one. But essentially, they both work very well in that sense. So if you prefer waiting a little bit longer for being more sure if the move is happening, then you take the regular original direction predictor model. And if you're looking for something a bit more aggressive to try to front run the move a bit earlier, then you would look at the direction predictor 2, second model. There are plenty of other things you can do with that indicator as well. The entropy indicator is very powerful. It can show you not just the entropy and the correlation and the direction predictor, it can also show you things like APP flashes and all kinds of other things. AVR flashes. It's got a lot of powerful tools in it. We used to call it the Swiss Army knife, or the Swiss. We used to call it the Swiss, as in like a Swiss Army knife of indicators, because it had so many powerful things built in. But now we just call it Entropy Pro, just to make it easy and clear to understand what it is. And that is what it is. So anyway, so Bitcoin and alts, are they having a massive pump now? It's the beginning of the second leg up on this big move that we've had so far this spring, to over 110,000. Now we're like 107 or something, the last I looked about a half hour ago. Or has it come back down already since then? I don't know. I guess I'll find out soon enough. Or are we going to keep rising, smash up past the all-time highs again, and go to new blue sky territory? Well, I'll tell you one thing. You will find out when you find out, and the VEPs can tell you with leading information more accurately than anything else what is likely to happen now and next. If you don't know how to use the VEPs yet, I highly, highly recommend it. Go have a look. And if you want to learn how to trade the VEPs, come to Alpha Trading and learn for free. Or if you want, you can get private tutoring from us. We do offer a private tutoring service for people who want to onboard faster, on-ramp faster, and start trading faster. You get a whole bunch of private sessions, and you also get access to the indicators for an entire year. So it's very worthwhile. Anyway, that does it. That'll do for now. I'll talk with you guys later. Happy trading. Peace.